Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for joining us today. This is David Kingsbury. I'm head of customer success and digital experience and a variety of other many hats like you guys as well. And I have my favorite sidekick in digital marketing world with me. Good morning, Helen. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Hope
So it's a pleasure.
everybody's having a great day.
That's right. Helen and I were just talking about how we can't believe it's already May in 2025. So I know you guys are feeling the speed of time zipping by as you guys are promoting and doing all of your marketing efforts. It's just a crazy time, isn't it? So we've got an action-packed, content-packed set of information for you today. So just sit in and hang on. As a reminder, I will send this out as a PDF, and you'll see a recording following as well if you want to pop into certain sections. But with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So first of all, agenda is the same as it is each time. We're going to talk a little bit about Deep Target in the news. It's always interesting for you guys to hear what we're doing, what we've got out there. We're going to take one look at a financial article related to the financial industry, which is really cool, and it's very specifically related to our content today. And our tip of the month, which is, you might say it's a bunch of tips, is we're going to take a look at a full campaign life cycle, meaning we're going to talk about each step in creating just a single campaign, just to remind you of all the components of it. Okay. And then finally, we've got a case study of success, which we're real pleased to promote the success of one of our great customers out there as well. Okay. So speaking of customers, just as a reminder, you're in good company. Deep Target continues to grow in our customers. These are recent additions in the past few months, and we continue to add everybody new ones every month. And we promote you guys communicating with others. We just did a webinar with Dow and Incredible Bank, who's on here somewhere. There they are next to them, and both of their CIOs, Chief Innovation Officers, are wide open to talk with others about all of the interesting things going on in the data world and digital marketing world. So just be aware of that. Okay. So great stuff there. And then here is a great article. So this actually, they interviewed Preetha Pulasania, our CEO, for a component of this, but there's quite a few other individuals who are big in the banking industry, talking about what's going on with ad strategies in 2025. And what's really cool, Preetha had several quotes, but I pulled this one forward because she talked about forward-thinking banks and credit unions, which all of you guys are recognizing that their proprietary data represents one of the most valuable assets for effective marketing. So read the article. It's the link is down here below. But it just came out last week, and it's very appropriate for what's going on in the industry, and just staying on top of what the industry is thinking is really important. So good stuff there. And then financial industry news. So we follow Financial Brand really closely, as well as many other news sources. But they also released just this week a new article. We're not involved in it, but it's wish we were, but because it talks about stuff that we always talk about. But it's how generational differences and life events are shaping consumer financial decisions. Now, we've talked about, Helen and I have talked many times about how generational targeting is really important. And as an individual moves through their generations from Gen Z to Millennial to Gen X, Boomers, we also had traditionalists or the silent generation. There's a few, there's a huge number of those still around. But the financial needs balloon. They start, medium, then they balloon as a millennial, then they begin to drop off with Gen X and Boomers and finally traditionalists. But this is a great little chart they showed, showing some large categories of where individuals need support, like starting college for Gen Z, joining the workforce, becoming a parent, All of these are candidates for you for targeting for your products and services across Gen Z, Millennials, X, and Boomers. And you should consider this. And I'll say one more time, this phrase, which I know all of you can repeat, but I'm going to do it one more time, is in marketing, people like to see people they think they look like smiling using products they're looking for. Okay. So if you dissect that a little bit more, that's really getting kind of a real-time review of somebody happy with the product that you're looking for. So I know Google and others have reviews online, but showing that type of content is really important per generation. Remember, people like to see people they think they look like smiling. So we'll start there.
And
Perfect.
another
So
thing, David, before we go to the next one,
sure.
what's important there is, the image is everything. So that's going to grab them first. And then you want to make sure that you have a great message to reach that age demographic that you're trying to reach. So, you might, use different kind of wording and phrasing for somebody that's 65 as opposed to somebody that's 25.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. Okay, good, Helen, because she's going to speak about that a little bit more in just a minute. All right, so the tip of the month, the campaign life cycle. So you guys know it inherently, and you may have a very rigorous process about it, but for every campaign, there should be a planning step, creating step, publishing, managing step, and measuring results because we have to see the results, because if the results aren't good, we need to go back into planning. We're always in this cycle, right? All right, so let's take the planning first. There's two sides of that, and I'm gonna let Helen speak to those on both sides. So go ahead, Helen.
Okay, so, obviously when you're getting ready to look at, a promotion or a set of promotions, you need to see what do you want to promote? Is it seasonal? Is it, a short-term type of, an event? And then you want to look at who the audience is for that. Do you have specific criteria? Is it a preferred or pre-qualified set of individuals? You need to make sure that you identify who needs that particular ad the most. And so Deep Target has a number of different targeting methods for those. So if you're having something like a shred day or something like that, you want all of your account holders to see that. That's going to be all users. But if you've got something that a product, let's just say a money market, and you want to say that needs to go to anybody who doesn't already have a money market, who has maybe $10,000 sitting in their checking or savings or something like that, you may want to use that target by rule for that, or maybe, target by predictive model. So you really kind of need to look and understand your data and to see, what kind of audience that you want for that.
Good, good. So here's a list of the different types of audiences you can utilize for each campaign. All users. So there is value certainly in an all user campaign, but you want to be careful because it's going to go to all users. And remember, a large percentage may not be interested in the product or service. And so it's a waste of their time. And they're getting very conscious of that today. And it's not personalized. And it may or may not be that useful for them, right? Helen's going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, I'm sure.
And a little bit, let's talk about those others, like target by rule and target by predictive. If you have specific rules there at your institution, like, hey, you can only have one type of consumer loan, or you can have multiple types of CDs or things like that, you need to understand how you want to restrict or open it up to
that's right,
to those folks.
Exactly. Good. So target by rule, you can utilize effectively a rule, checking account greater than, savings account greater than, and so forth to target to make sure that they could actually utilize the product, right? Target by predictive models are machine learning. So it's going to utilize a profile of account holders over the past 2 years who have opened an account similar to. So everybody within the Deep Target community that opened a CD in the last 2 years creates a profile of what that individual looks like. And we use that profile laid across your user base to determine the propensity of all your users to then be interested in that product. So reach out to us if you want to hear more about it. It's pretty intensive analysis that goes on, but it's all done automatically for you. And then finally, target by transactions, brand new. It's available now, and it allows the use looking at individual transactions with your FI per individual for the last 90 days. And it's a running recording of that so that you can target them if they, for instance, a very popular one is it can tell you if somebody has had car expenses lately, car repair. So they've been spending money at a car repair shop. Maybe they're interested in a new or used car. So you might target them for that based on the transactions you've seen. And there's a myriad of other, we'll call them user tags that come out of the system that you can utilize to target. So amazing capability. And that comes with a relationship we have with a company called FinGoal. And again, every user is going to have a multitude of user tags that you can combine together into a particular persona that you can then target. So reach out to us if you want to hear about this. We're really excited. We're talking to several of you guys currently about it. And it's the most timely way to engage your membership and your customers. Okay. Okay. So Helen, the second part of planning the campaign.
So what's really important is to know, what's your timeline there? Is it something that you need to get out quick? You need to look at, does it need to be prioritized? Is it something, a short-term promotion that you have that's only going to run for a month? You need to understand that. So when you're setting up your campaign, you can have a start and end date that you can specify there. And then you have, with data, you can run campaigns. We call these evergreen campaigns. You can run something all year, but the audience will change as the data is uploaded every time. So that's just something that is good about Deep Target. Everything is refreshed every time your new data uploads happen. So you need to look at that. And then you need to think about, what are you going to do with it when you get a click? Do you want something, a notification to come to you automatically? You can set that up in Deep Target. You can say, I want to get a report every morning at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to send that out to my call center and let them follow up on that. Look at your standard operating procedures and know what works for your institution. You want to do that. And if you have a CRM, how do you want to get that information that's generated out of Deep Target into that CRM? So, well, you need to think about that, and those are options that you can do within the product.
Perfect. Good. Thank you, Helen. So now on to the second step, creating campaign content. So I'm going to let Helen speak to it. I just want you to know that, once again, we can do a training session for you if you've lost touch with some of this, just as a reminder, and that's all for free. So Helen, go ahead.
Yeah, and on that point, it's always good to get a refresher. I would say, at least once a year, because there's some things that you may use all the time and things that you forget about. And there's just some little tweaks and little things that you can do. So, call us up and we'll get something set up. One thing on your campaign settings, when you go in there, I always say the most important thing besides your graphics, you've got to talk about what product that you're trying to open. You need to make sure you've got that set on your product assignments. You've got that set appropriately. On the campaign settings, you also have an ADA compliance field. So anything that you type in that description box will be read out to anyone who has this could be a disability that has like a screen reader. So that's really important to have that in there. And then we talked about the timelines before. You want to set up your start and stop timelines. And then if you're running a targeted campaign, that's where you would set your detargeting parameters and settings there.
Awesome. Good,
And
good. And
so,
then here's the fun section, the visual components, Helen.
yeah, so visual components, that's going to be under ad settings. That's where, you want to upload your image, you want to have messaging that's relevant. You want your call to action, whether you're going to go directly to product opening software or you want to go to your web page. But you also need to, set up your personalization there. That we talk about real-time data. You can do first name personalization or anything that's in your data, you can pull into those fields there. So, you want to specify that as often as possible. And then on display settings, this is important too, because you need to like set up your rotation. Are you giving your account holder enough time to read the message?
Right.
And then you want to look at prioritization, specifically if you're running campaigns across all your products and your services, you want to prioritize those that are most important to your financial institution right now. So it may be you're focusing on deposits. You might want to prioritize those first. And then, or maybe it's that short-term, CD, you got a jumbo CD that's going out and you only want, it's only available for like 30 days or something like that. You want to make sure that you have those prioritized appropriately.
That's right. Great. Perfect. So thank you, Helen. All right. So then it's all about publishing and managing. So once again, Helen, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, so just so you know, once you publish your campaign, it should be seen by your account holders immediately. So that's the way that works. And I want to talk a little bit about the campaign stack. So for every account holder, a stack is built per person for the campaigns that they qualify for. So when you prioritize, your prioritized ads will display first. Your targeted ads will come in beneath those if you don't have anything, or if you don't have anything prioritized, your targeted ads are going to display first. And then your all user ads will go at random behind that. So it's always really good when you're thinking about prioritizing. You don't want to prioritize too many because when somebody logs in, they may not be in digital banking that long. So, having your duration set too long or having too many ads prioritized, you may not get to your other ones that are at the bottom if you don't manage that correctly. And then, as mentioned before, all the stacks are regenerated and refreshed with every new data upload. So that's handled. We recommend daily uploads to the target. Most customers now are sending that, overnight, and we get that so everything's fresh for them the next morning. So, we update the audience every time data changes.
Yeah. So, and I can't tell you how important that can't understate how important it is. If I go and get a CD today, I don't want to see a CD ad perhaps tomorrow, or if other products. Your account holders are really savvy today, and they want to feel like you know them, right? So if I were to open a CD today, tomorrow with a new data load, it would show that, and therefore the campaign that says it's not targeting those with a CD, then I would drop out of that campaign. So really important to refresh your data as often as possible. So great. Thank you, Helen. All right. So on to the exciting stuff, measuring the results. I know it's very hard to find time to measure your results, but you got to do it so that you can continually have successful campaigns. So within the flyout of the campaign itself, you can pick campaign performance. It's one flyout off of this menu, and it just gives you just this one particular campaign, its overall unique impressions and unique clicks over time. You can set your timing, you can export data. This is kind of a neat example because this campaign gives you an example of how after 3 months, 90 days, its influence has dropped off. And so this is a great indicator. If you were to look at this and this was your campaign, you go, oh, okay, my impressions dropped. I'm probably prioritizing something else. It's directly impacted my clicks. I understand that maybe I need to go in and change the content, like we talked about, to beef up the investigation, right? So really important considering to do this on each campaign. Just a monthly check-in, right, Helen?
That's right.
Perfect.
You want to just make sure you're looking at everything once a month.
That's right. Okay. And then don't forget, you can see your click-through rate. So this is one way. Here's the click-through rate for this particular campaign. If I wanted to see it for all my campaigns individually, I can go to my table view in my campaign category analytics. And this will give you a full view of every single campaign over the time period you select to show you what your click-through rate is. And that's a really powerful understanding of how it's going. These are getting some phenomenal click-through rates at this particular customer of ours. So check that as well. And then here's the big way to check. Inside of the influenced sales conversions report, off of the pull down here on the Deep Target side panel, I can pick my actual category and I can pick my campaign button and then go look through all my campaigns that I might be running. Or so there's a bunch of historical ones in here that this customer has kept around on purpose for analytics. And just look at the influenced sales and new account opens related to just this one campaign over this time period, the first 4 months of this year. And I can see 233 new accounts were opened influenced by this campaign. That's phenomenal. So just remember that all this capability is here with you. We're gonna summarize it inside of the management report so you can get your growth grid, and you'll see your results here across each month for each particular category. So you can feel good about that as well. And this is your revenue, estimated monthly revenue that's being generated from your new account opens. So great success all the way around. Okay, good. So let's talk about success. So we have one customer. So each month we review at least one. We did 2 last month because it was so good. But this one, I was on the phone with Eglin Federal Credit Union last week, and we looked over their accounts, and this case study on their credit card campaigns was really cool. So I wanted to share what they're doing and have been doing with their credit cards. So here is a series of campaigns, and it's nice because they're doing a combination of things, and Helen will jump in to remind me if I've missed something. But they run a campaign here to promote credit cards. So this is this is targeted by a predictive model. So this is to basically the largest set of audience that could find value in a credit card. And then they do 2 others targeted by rule using different generations and different content with a gamification aspect as well. So enter a chance to win a tropical getaway. So they're promoting the use of the credit cards. So get a new one. And then if you've got one using generational targeting, they are then saying, hey, use your card and enter a chance to win a great vacation. And so really great aspect. Helen, any comments else before I go on?
Just another one. You can see the start and end dates are all changed differently. You can see the predictive model. It has an age range there. And also on the other 2, the top 2, you can see, who you're looking at. So you can see people that already have a credit card. And you do see that they did fill in their description for their ADA compliance. So that's on there too.
Perfect. That's great. Good. So how's it doing? So let's take a look over the past just short period of time since the beginning of the year. These 3 campaigns, this is once again, the campaign category analytics report. So I'm just doing a total of unique impressions, unique views. So really impressive. I start to wonder why this one is so low. And I'll tell you why in a second. Here's the click-through rates, over 2% for 2 of them, one below 1%. So I'm not sure why that is. So if I look at why that is, if I look at the campaign category analytics, what I see is they didn't launch the 3rd campaign until the 1st of March. So it's only been running for a month. So that's why the impression rate, click-through rate is low. It just got started. But these 3 together make a great way to go after the audience so that they can help them with new credit cards. So the final result is what's been happening. They've influenced 279 new credit card account opens so far this year, and that's continuing to grow. So great work at Eglin Federal Credit Union. Hats off to the team there with Laura and Rocky and so forth. But great example of success. Okay, so we hope to have you guys, someone else on the phone, involved in this as well. So here's the summary of 5 key points that we presented earlier. Take time to plan each campaign and understand your overall campaign framework and how each campaign fits into it. Consider a collective of campaigns, just like Eglin did. So they had 3 different campaigns to utilize or focus the use of the credit card, and consider all of the different ways to target. Refresh every 90 days, really good practice. So the human brain will tune out old content in about 90 days. We do that on purpose, right? So we're not interested, our brain shuts it off. So you've got to wake it up, especially in today's world of noisy stuff going on. Absolutely. Okay, act on the leads. So just even though you've gotten their attention and they clicked for that microsecond, it's good to follow up because people get distracted, right? And then they get into panic and so forth. But follow up on your leads. And then finally, measure results. Seek to have a click-through rate of 1% or greater. If not, you need to tweak the content, tweak the rules or the audience to achieve the best results. And always remember, the Deep Target's here to help. And 2 free success reviews a year, where our experts sit down with you and go through your account, help you out. Who does that today? Not many, but Deep Target does. Perfect. And remember, we have managed services to run the system for you. If it gets out of control, if you're wearing 12 hats, let us take one of them off of your head for you. And rest assured, we're going to run the system well. We have, I think, what did you say, Helen? Over 35
That's correct.
customers allowing us to run the system for them with really great results. And then don't forget about our YouTube channel. If you want to get refreshed on certain aspects, and if you want to find our webinars as well, just remember that Deep Target is the premier digital marketing solution out there in the world. And we're very proud of that because this is the one thing we do is digital marketing for banks and credit unions in the banking space. So we're focused and constant. And I can't tell you how excited I am about the next revision of our dashboard coming out later this year, which is just going to be awesome. So hang on for that. Refer a friend to Deep Target. Turns out a lot of our customers come from friendships and referrals. So don't forget to do that. We'd love that and grow our community together. And now it's time for Java Joy, Helen, right on time. Who's out there that wants to win a free cup of Starbucks coffee from us?
Random, look at who's still there. Okay, this month's winner is Amy Michelazek from Dow Credit Union.
No way. Amy, congratulations. So watch for an email from me shortly. You guys, thank you for attending so much. Be sure to join us in June. It's always a pleasure to work with you. You guys have a great day. Thank you, Helen, for being here.
See you next month.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.